How to get to know accurately about Six Sigma or in generally in statistic. Not We don't need to Google out each and everything, and without it we can easily find it out. And more importantly, I'm stressing the word accurately. So how to do that, right? You can go to help. In the help, you will find glossary inside the Minitab. So here you will find everything. The Minitab version what I have is 17 version. This is a half line activation. Once you have it, you don't need to renew it and all that, right? So this is the version I have. Let's say I'm just going to glossary. You will find there are two things. This is called index. Index, you can see here, index mean you can find in alphabetical order anything, like for example A. If I put A, all the A related will come, right? For example, accepted value, adjusted mean square, sum square, AIAG, right? Alpha, all that you will find. Let's say you want B, right? B related will come. For example, bar chart you have, balance ANOVA we have, and bell curve we have, bell shaped we have, right? All that you will get to know. If you click it, you will get to know more about what is a bell curve, right? And all that you will get to know what is the normal distributions. In other words, is also called histogram, everything, right? Similarly, you can go for C. So C related will come. This is one way. This is called index, right? For example, C related, for example, C chart you have, and capability you have, CPK you have, right? How the CPK works, everything with a clear explanation and a clear pictorial they have explained, right? So for example, CPK, for example, if the CP and CPK is same, what is the value? It is more symmetrical, right? If it is left is skewed, what is the CPK value, right? Right is skewed, what is the symmetrical value? All that, not only the CPK, you can also get to know about PP PPk performance, and all that you can easily get to. This is all about index. You can go through via index. Index is what it will help. It will help to find the values in the this order, I mean in the alphabetical order. Let's say you wanted to search any given topic. For example, you want to know about standard deviation. Let's say I'm just typing standard deviation. You hit enter and you will find that what is standard deviation. We are talking about pooled standard deviation or normal. Let's say I'm talking about normal standard deviation. So now standard deviation has given beautifully about it. For example, there is a, maybe what I will do, I will just clear this up. And once again, because every term of standard deviation has been highlighted, let's say I'm just going again just to take it easily. Glossary, and just one more time we can go to help and you can go to glossary, and you will find, let's say we want to find about the standard deviation, right? So either index or search you can do. Let's say I wanted to do with the in standard deviation. You will find the standard deviation. See how beautifully it has given the standard deviation about 6. On an average, patient discharge time deviates from the mean, that means 6 minutes, right? And blue line by about 6 minutes, right? So all this line is about 35 minutes is an average, but 6 minutes you have a standard deviation. But here you see that the standard deviation is more, but because the width is more. So standard deviation, we know when you say standard deviation is nothing but the dispersion, right? The measure, common measure of dispersion, right? Dispersion is this length, this width, how much it is there. It is beautifully explained in this one. So in this case, the width is small, the dispersion is small. In other word, in this case, the dispersion is small, right? We can easily get to know about this one. And also, what is mean by 95 percentage observation fall within the two standard deviation, all that it has given it very beautifully. Like this, you can take any topic which you think that you need a little bit more clarity. For example, let's say you wanted to find out VIF. If you Google it out, you have various criteria. Some are not logical, some are not accurate and all that, but here you will find perfectly. So in the multi-regression, we always look for VIF factor, variation inflation factor, variance inflation factor. So how to interpret it, right? So if it is VIF is not correlated is 1. In other word, in the normal R square value, right? If it is the not correlated bin, R square value will be less than 0.7, right? It is not correlated. In this case, it is the equal to 1, VIF is equal to 1 is not correlated. Moderately correlated between 1 to 5 is moderately correlated, but in the case of normal regression, zero point 0.4 to 0.7 is considered to be moderate correlated. High correlation, anything greater than 0.7 is considered, but here it is considered to be point, 5 value, VIF factor, variation inflation factor is highly correlated. Also it says that VAF value greater than 10 may indicate multicollinearity is unduly influencing in your result, right? And in this case, you may want to reduce the multicollinearity by removing the unimportant predictor. For example, let's say you have x1, x2, and x3. Let's say x3 is not an influential factor. You may remove and then do the multi-regression for these two variables, right? So like this, you can easily do it. So this is how you can easily get to know about this. Let's say I will take a couple of more example. Let's say I will take NDC. NDC also important, right? NDC is number of distinct categories. So number of distinct categories, what is the value? Why NDC is important? It is given here. So it is given that the YAEAG, Automotive Industry Action Group, has suggested that more and 5 and more as denote as accepted measurement system in GRR, right? So why it is there and all that. So for example, suppose you have a different chemical for your batches. Your formulation required 4,000 gram of chemical A and 75 gram of chemical B and 2 gram of chemical C. Let's say 3 combinations here. If you use a scale of 5 gram of ingredient, all the measurement, obviously that may be fine for chemical A, but may not be precise, because here you're talking about 4,000. 5 gram may not be much significant, but whereas here 5 gram is much thing. Even in this case, 5 gram for chemical C is even much bigger deal, right? But it would not be precise enough for chemical B and chemicals. Therefore, the scale that measure the chemical A as an acceptable number of distinct, right? Because the variation in the accepted weight between because it will vary, right? So now what is a typically what NDC will do and all that, it has given very, very beautifully. Let's go Kappa, right? Kappa has been used for attribute agreement analysis, right? And let's say Kappa. So again in Kappa also they have given one is perfect agreement, and what is Kappa is used for attribute agreement analysis in MSA, right? And what is a Kappa study and what you get it perfectly? One, perfect agreement. Zero mean it is just by chance. Less than zero, it is rarely happen. All that it is given, right? So for example, let's say you want to know about the IMR formula, right? IMR chart, like example, right? Double click on it and you will find what is IMR and how it is calculated and all that, right? Let's say you're interested to find out the control limits, right? Control limit, how it is upper control and lower control, how it is calculated, right? Based on the value, based on this one. Let's say you want to know about the formula for X bar R chart, X bar R chart. Okay, in X bar R chart, you can find it here. So how it is being calculated, everything. So each and every term by term like this, you can find it out. By topic, you can find out. And then if you want to know by alphabetical order, you can find it out and all that, right? So this is why directly you don't need to Google it out and all that. Directly when you have a Minitab, can directly go to the help and then find out the glossary. Similar, the same thing you can replicate to find the method and formula. For example, in method and formula, let's say you wanted to know more about control chart. In control chart, let's say you want to know about, let's say attribute chart, example, C chart, U chart, NP chart, and P chart, right? And then, and how that control limit and upper lower control limit is calculated. Lower control limit is calculated for P chart. Again, you have formula. Again, how it is calculated for MP, you have formula. And see U chart, you have formula. All that it has been given. And with the example also, you'll find it, right? So you can find in all the examples also as well. Rare event charts also, what is mean, you can easily find it. Like this, you can come back and let's say you want to know more about the basic statistic example. What is meant by one sample t-test, correlation, standard deviation, descriptive statistic. In descriptive, these are all the terms you must need to know. Mean, sum, trim mean, median. Let's say standard error of mean, because this is important for hypothesis testing. When you see that the standard, we know that the standard error of mean is equal to standard deviation divided by square root of n, right? So here you find, see, you will find all that. So I hope you find it very useful. Please try to use it, maximize it, increase your knowledge on statistic. I hope you find it useful. Thank you so much. Have a